Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Still to come, our main event, Julian Williams and Marcello Mattano in a junior middleweight elimination bout. Coming up next, upstart Antoine Action Douglas and veteran Avtandil Khurtsidze. They square off in a middleweight bout. We've seen Antoine Douglas on numerous occasions on our ShowBox series, and we watched him grow from prospect into a bona fide title contender.
My name is Antoine Douglas. I'm from Southeast Washington, D.C. My earliest memory from my childhood would be being dropped off at my aunt's house when I was a baby. At the time, my mom was in a predicament where she was suffering a drug addiction, so she was aware that she was unable to take care of me and my brothers. We were at my aunt's house, and there was a lot of altercation there, and my aunt decided that, you know, this is too much for me, too much of a toll. I'm gonna put all of you in foster care. When we got adopted to these foster parents, we were neglected, but there were benefits that were reaped. I was taught discipline. I went to school and I started getting good grades in school. I started boxing at the age of 10 or 11. I can't remember to be exact. My cousin, he was a boxer himself when he was young amateur. He's like, you know, we were fighting each other, fighting in and out of school. He's like, man, you know, I'm gonna put you guys in a boxing gym. If you all don't take it serious, at least you'll learn the discipline of it. When I decided to turn pro, I was 19, after the Olympic trials, of which I placed third in. This was also at the time where I realized, you know, I needed to be a son to my mother more than she could be a mother to me. I heard the stories of what had happened to her in her past, so it was easier for me to understand. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to be on the bottom end. I have to be able to share that with her and, you know, uplift her, because you know, I feel like that was my purpose. By her being at my fights, I feel like it uplifts her and it strengthens her.
My man was told he'd never walk on top. A 4-pound boy, baby, but look at him now.
If I can do that for her and also be able to get her out of her addiction while doing so, it's all perfect for me. I would love that when people talk about the sport of boxing, they talk about Antoine Action Douglas. You got a lot of guys that can be champions, but if you can walk the streets and the people love you and the people, you know, salute you and they chant your name, then you're a true champion. I'm Antoine Douglas, and I am a fighter.
Antoine Douglas hopes to join the pantheon of champions seen here on Showtime. Showtime Championship Boxing is celebrating its 30th anniversary, having presented some of boxing's most memorable fighters in unforgettable fights. March theme is Legends.
He is the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, marvelous Marvin. Here is Thomas, the Hitman. Moving back to single bottom. Down he goes. Great fight by Hearns. The Hearns has made boxing history. Ricardo Lopez.
He's the best fighter today in the world.
The hands of stone Roberto Duran. Has he still got them at age 35? The living legend of boxing continues to add chapters.
Tonight it's Sugar Ray Leonard's much anticipated Garden debut.
This is my last fight. Thank you for coming out. God bless you all.
George Foreman, he's ready to go, and there he goes. Blows away Jerry Cooney.
Trinidad ready to let loose.
Oh, what a right hand by Trinidad. When they fall face down, they don't get up, Bobby.
A star is born. Felix Trinidad. The pride of Mexico, Julio Cesar Chavez. Larger than life.
Mike Tyson's a phenom, a walking powerhouse.
Down goes Bruno into the ropes. What a shot by Evander Holyfield. And down went Douglas.
We welcome you to the bout you've all been waiting for.
We continue our year-long anniversary celebration with an encore presentation of the first boxing program to be broadcast on Showtime. Thursday, March 10th on Show Extreme. 30 years ago to the day, undefeated and undisputed middleweight champion, Marvelous Marvin Hagler took on Olympic silver medalist and consensus #1 challenger, John the Beast Mugabe, who had won all of his 25 bouts by knockout. For more on the most exciting fighters and memorable Showtime fights from the last 30 years, log on to our website, show.com/sports, and check out all of our social media platforms. And once again, we remind you to play Show Streak, the game from Showtime Sports that offers great prizes for picking the winners of the fights. The longer the streak you create, the better the prizes. Our second fight of the evening pits Antoine Douglas, who looks to take one step closer to a championship shot, and Avtandil Khurtsidze, who hopes to derail the young contender. And we zoom in on 35-year-old Avtandil Khurtsidze. He has been a professional fighter for 13 years, and at 5 feet 4 inches, the smallest middleweight out there. He has one style: come forward and punish. He was a late comer to the sport of boxing. He didn't begin fighting until the age of 21. That was in his native Republic of Georgia. Khurtsidze earned himself a shot at a vacant interim world title in 2010 and lost a very close decision to Hassan Endam. Khurtsidze's career has been laden with starts and stops. He came back to the ring in July of 14 after a 2.5-year layoff, and since that time, he's won 4 fights, all by knockout. He's had 2 other layoffs of more than a year each. In fact, he hasn't lost a fight since October of 2010. Khurtsidze takes his first fight on 3 weeks' notice, this time filling in for Sam Sullivan, who was hurt in training camp. He poses a much different test for Antoine Douglas. So, Steve, let's talk about Khurtsidze's keys to victory.
We might as well start now with moving his head, because side-to-side movement with his head, that has to be Khurtsidze's primary defense. He has to set a fast pace, lots of punches, lots of pressure. Khurtsidze has to have all of that. And finally, he can't square up. On the inside, surprisingly, Khurtsidze's footwork is not good. He squares up a lot, and that limits his power.
Antoine Douglas is right at the doorstep of a world title. Since turning pro 3 years ago, Douglas has stayed very active and has become something of a fixture on our Showbox series. So far, he's answered every question. The only glitch on an otherwise perfect record was a 10-round draw with Michel Soro in July of 2014 on Showbox. He comes off an easy win over Les Sherrington. That was on a freezing night in Las Vegas. He dropped Sherrington 5 times in 4 rounds. Douglas has very good power. He's an aggressive fighter. He throws a lot of punches, and tonight he steps up the opposition once again. And he's only 23 years old. Let's talk about the keys to victory for Antoine Douglas.
Well, for Douglas, Barry, first of all, he's got to be first. If he's first to the trigger, he'll keep Khurtsidze in defensive mode. He's got to stay in the middle of the ring. If Douglas moves laterally, he wins. If he moves backward, it could be a very uncomfortable night. And also, use uppercuts. Khurtsidze doesn't get low. He is low. When the Georgian bends at the waist, Douglas should lift his head up with uppercuts.
And with that, we are ready for our next fight of the evening. It is middleweight, scheduled for 10 rounds. Antoine Douglas and Avtandil Khurtsidze. For the formal introduction of the fighters, we go once more to the center of the ring. And our ring announcer tonight, Mark Fratto. Mark.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to the Sands Bethlehem Casino Resort for Showtime Boxing Special Edition. This bout is scheduled for 10 rounds in the middleweight division and will be contested for the WBO International Middleweight title. The WBO NABO president is Francisco Paco Valcarcel. Joining us this evening is WBO NABO supervisor Porfirio Betegon. This bout is brought to you by King's Promotions, GH3 Promotions, the Sands Casino Resort, and Showtime. It's presented by Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina. The judges for this bout are Ron McNair, Tom Schreck, and Steve Weisfeld. At the sound of the bell, controlling the action in the ring is referee Benji Estevez. Introducing first, the challenger. Fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at an even 160 pounds. With a professional record of 32-2, 20 victories coming by way of knockout. Wearing black this evening from Khurtsidze in the nation of Georgia, now living, training, and fighting out of Coney Island, Brooklyn, New York. Please welcome Avtandil, the Tornado, Khurtsidze. And his opponent, across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 158 3/4 pounds. An undefeated professional record of 19-0-1, 13 victories coming by way of knockout. Wearing red with silver, hailing from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. He is the reigning and defending WBO International Middleweight Champion of the world, Antoine Action Douglas.
Okay, man, you always see the pre-bout instructions. Give me a clean match. Obey my commands at all times, and above all, protect yourself at all times. Touch them up. Good luck to both of you.
The numbers are a little different with these two fighters. Douglas hopes his humongous reach advantage is a key factor. As for Khurtsidze, he's 5'4". In the middleweight top 30, the next shortest fighter, Sam Solomon, is 5'7". Rules, unified, no standing 8, no 3 knockdown. Only the ref can stop the fight. A fighter can't be saved by the bell in any round, and the fight becomes official after 4 rounds. Barry.
Should be interesting, I think. And clearly, Khurtsidze is going to have to get on the inside and stay there, and that's what he does. Now, whether he can do it against Douglas remains to be seen. Khurtsidze does have some pop when he gets in here, and this is where he wants to fight, and he wants to make it ugly.
Well, it's a big ring, and they're in the corner now, but it's a big ring, 20 feet. That should play to Douglas's advantage.
Pretty good left hand by Douglas. Counter left hand. Douglas just finding a home. As Khurtsidze has really had his hands low here. He throws a lot of punches, but keeps his hands low. Came up with a left hand that time that got there.
Tell you what, Khurtsidze just took some vicious, powerful hooks by Antoine Douglas, and he's still there on his chest. That's his game plan.
Well, he started fighting by watching videos of Mike Tyson.
Good choice.
Yeah, I think so.
He wears the black trunks and black shoes like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he does. Now, can he fight like Mike Tyson?
Well, he's given himself the opportunity to because he's getting on the inside. What Douglas has to be careful of, a guy like Khurtsidze is constantly giving you a target to hit. He's got to be careful about overpacing himself or
nice
underpacing
uppercut
himself.
from Khurtsidze, and another one.
They're on the inside, Barry.
Douglas is giving him what he wants. That's Khurtzidze's fight. That's where Douglas needs to hold on to him, grab him, tighten his defense up, and get back on the outside. Remember, this is a young kid, 23 years old, Antoine Douglas. Can he take this pressure? Can he stay focused?
Taking a lot of pretty good shots from Khurtsidze also. Hasn't been hurt in the fight yet, but a lot of power shots.
Douglas never been down. Khurtsidze in 36 fights, been down only once.
Now this is where Douglas wants to fight. And Khurtsidze is leaving the left hand for Douglas almost any time he wants it.
This ring seems to be getting smaller for Douglas.
Sure does.
No, Khurtsidze is giving him no room. He's just keeping him in the corners on the ropes.
It's a pretty good first round for Khurtsidze. Getting a lot of left hands in, yeah.
Think about this guy. I mean, I seen him fight. I saw him when he fought on Dom and a couple of other guys on tape, and he fights like this pace the whole fight.
Yeah. So far, exactly as the fight would, as Khurtsidze would want this fight. And throwing a lot of punches and scoring with a lot of punches.
Barry, I'd go a step further. I'd say tactically, this has been a disastrous first round for Douglas.
Exactly.
Stop at the belt.
You always put it so much more impeccably.
You got the box here, Quan. You know what I'm saying? Don't slug, Quan. Come on now. Let's use that head, man. You got a box. Turn and use that jab, right? Come on. You hear me? You got to use that jab. Don't slug with him no more.
All right, so how is Antoine Douglas going to win this fight? Here's what he told us.
Well, from what I see, he's a shorter guy. He's only 5'4", but he's an aggressive fighter. But a lot of his shots are wild, and he fights, very openly. So I plan to dictate from my range using my jab and, counter shots from the outside.
Yeah, you don't get a fucking jab, huh? That's your jab. Come on, man.
Threw 123 punches and doubled the connects from Douglas.
And Khurtsidze is so fast to close that gap that he doesn't give him any room to box. He's got to hold him in the inside just like that. He said he was going to tighten him up in the inside, get back on the outside.
Here are the numbers from last round, Steve.
Yeah, Khurtsidze, you expect that number maybe later in the fight, but for him to get Douglas to fight his fight so early, I think is a big surprise to all of us.
And it's right back to the same here. Khurtsidze clearly controlling how this fight is being fought. There was a slapping left hand from Douglas.
And a nice butt in the middle of Douglas's face.
Yes. Another one right there.
Douglas needs to find a way to take the fight to the center of the ring, keep circling him, hold him in the inside, pick him up with uppercuts.
Good left hand there by Douglas. And Douglas doing some damage here despite the fact that he's letting Khurtsidze dictate the fight.
And I think there's a bad cut on somewhere on the scalp of Khurtsidze. I see a lot of blood anyway.
No, I think it's Douglas.
Is it Douglas?
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah, it's
You're
the right eye. It's the right eye of Douglas.
Yeah, that blood is drenching Khurtsidze too. I mentioned the butt earlier. I don't know if that's what opened the cut. We'll try to catch it later. So Douglas has more to worry about.
This is going to be a real test of character for Antoine Douglas.
Yes, we'll see how that affects this young guy. Like I said, 23 years old. This guy got putting a lot of pressure on him. Now he's cut.
Only second time in his career that I know of that he's been cut.
Khurtsidze right back on top of him. The fight is exactly the fight that Khurtsidze would want right now.
Yeah. Keep in mind, Khurtsidze is a substitute for Sam Solomon, but everybody in boxing said the sub is tougher than the first guy.
Yeah, I agree.
And you're seeing it now.
Yes.
And Douglas is pulling at that eye. The cut's clearly bothering him.
Now this is where Douglas wants to fight, but can he keep it out here? And as I say that, Khurtsidze gets right inside. End of round 2, and it's going to be a character test.
I got an accidental hit.
It's a bad cut.
It's okay. I got it. Hey, the first punch you throw, the jab, is make it a setup. So you go
An accidental headbutt.
and then you make a miss, and then you come back. The first punch is a setup. Don't try to hit him with the first one, because he's going to...
We think this is where the cut happened. That's the butt right there. Now he's already bleeding.
He was cut already.
Yeah, he got butted there. Darren Antola, the cut man in Douglas's corner. All right, there's the
there
butt.
it goes.
Yeah, you saw it, Raul, right there. Yeah.
the top of Khurtsidze's head. Obviously, he's shorter.
So some work to do in the corner of Antoine Douglas. This is round 3, a long way to go. And a good left hand, and that one did hurt Douglas. Douglas in trouble. He goes down through the ropes. And he's still in a little trouble.
7.
His legs are definitely not steady. Khurtsidze gonna jump on him now. Bullies him into the ropes.
Douglas not trying to hold.
Left to the body. Douglas does not have a lot left here. Right hand and an uppercut by Khurtsidze. Can he survive? Long way to go in this round. Douglas back to the ropes again. Khurtsidze getting a little arm weary here.
Well, now he's trying to hold Douglas.
He's still not together. His legs are still not good.
And there's so much time left in this round, more than 2 minutes.
Well, Douglas didn't hold on, but he was smart enough to keep his hands up. Frame defense, he still that's locked up in there with his hands up.
Khurtsidze, sharp right hand. It will not take a lot. Douglas fights off the ropes. Now Douglas trying to hold on, keep the fight in the center of the ring, throws a combination himself, and a right hand from Khurtsidze. Right hand of the body, right uppercut by Khurtsidze.
Get off his head.
And a left hand by Khurtsidze. And again, Douglas back to the ropes. Combination by Douglas. Good job by Douglas to fight off the ropes, still alive. And it's Douglas that's doing the fighting now, and he's got Khurtsidze in the center of the ring.
His youth is serving him well. Might be the only reason he's still here.
Combination for Khurtsidze.
Tell you what, the flurries that Douglas is throwing is creating an opening for him to try to land a big shot. The speed. He landed some good shots, but Khurtsidze's still on him, landing big shots.
I think, though, Douglas does have his legs back.
This has to feel like the longest round of Douglas's life.
Has to be.
Because he was down early in this round.
Another good left hand by Khurtsidze. And a right hand by Khurtsidze.
Hey, on the inside, Douglas could do some damage, but he's fighting Khurtsidze's fight. This is how Khurtsidze wants to fight every fight of his career.
Yeah, he was no secret coming in here.
10 seconds.
Final 10 seconds. I'm still not sure. I said that Douglas's legs were good. I'm not real sure they are yet.
As you watch what happened in round 3 here, Douglas against the ropes, it's going to be a left hook, and you see him go down, and it's amazing that the fight is continuing because A, he fell sort of face first, and B, it happened so early in the round. He had so long to survive. You see his legs are absolutely gone here. And later in the round, I'll tell you, Douglas initially tried to hold a little bit, but he did a good job coming back. Still, obviously, a 10-8 round for Khurtsidze.
Yeah, so at the very least, Douglas is going to have to come back from 3 points down.
Let him go, man. Stop the holding now. Watch the hold.
Well, I thought the second round was very close. I gave a slight edge to Douglas. He landed a lot of big shots. Otherwise, obviously, Khurtsidze has built a lead. Here's Douglas coming back again. Does he have enough, though, on his punches to discourage the Georgian?
It seemed that Khurtsidze at the end of the round didn't have quite the steam that he had earlier in the round, but we'll see. those missed. Every one of those shots missed.
It seems like Douglas' speed is doing something to Khurtsidze to offset his pressure. You see, every time he throws 3, 4, 5, 6 combinations, that kind of speed, Khurtsidze is not pressuring the same.
Even though they miss.
Even though they miss, yeah, some of them catch. They catch them.
I know what you're saying, Raul, because generally when Douglas punches, Khurtsidze doesn't punch. And this pace has been brutal, Barry. And let's keep in mind, Khurtsidze is 35 years old.
Exactly.
Fighting a young fighter who's 23.
They have done a very good job on that cut. Right now, there is no more blood from that cut that happened very early in the fight.
And we could talk about keys to victory and Douglas needing to be on the outside and using his jab. That's all out the window now. If he's going to win this fight, he's going to gut it out. And he's going to have to beat Khurtsidze at his own game.
And it seems to me Khurtsidze's punches do not have quite the steam that they had. Douglas with a combination. Here are the numbers so far.
Yeah, Khurtsidze has been so busy. But this round, a turnaround, Douglas much busier.
Absolutely. There's a left hand from Khurtsidze, but didn't have a lot on it.
Barry, I think both fighters have slowed down a little bit in terms of power on their punches.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, not enough. The snap doesn't look like it did at the beginning of the fight. But look at Khurtsidze, still on him, working both sides of the body, 3, 4 punch combinations.
That was a good left hand right there by Khurtsidze. And a 4. Earlier tonight, we had an opportunity to get another look at Evgen Heatroff, a guy that we have seen on a couple of occasions already here on Showtime, trying to take a step up against an opponent by the name of Kenneth McNeil, who was 9 up and 1 down in his pro career. The fight was not pretty and not a clinic on the sweet science. Headbutt in the 4th round caused a serious cut over the left eye of Heatroff that never really did get stopped. The dirty tactics really didn't stop there. A shoulder right here from Heatroff. That was in round 8. In round 10, more of same. This time McNeil with a low blow that was extremely low. It dropped Heatroff literally to all 4s. The only knockdown of the fight came later in round number 10, the final round of the fight, and the sloppiness didn't end there. Another very low blow with the left hand dropped Heatroff again. In the end, he did manage to get his hand raised and ran his record to 13-0. Was it a pretty fight? No. Was it a win? That's about it. And we come to round 5. Antoine Douglas, Avtandil, Khurtsidze, and Douglas that time fighting off the ropes and got his man to back up.
Doesn't matter what Douglas does, Khurtsidze keeps coming in.
Keeps coming.
When you hit Khurtsidze, it's like hitting the side of an office building.
Another clash of heads there.
Yeah, he's like a brick wall just coming at you nonstop. Just stop over, just punches from different angles in your chest.
That can be so discouraging for any fighter, but for a young fighter, it takes a lot of maturity to deal with this.
And I think Douglas is dealing with it pretty well so far. I mean, I don't think he's lost focus. He got hurt. He was able to overcome that.
Now he's just kind of luring Khurtsidze in. Khurtsidze getting a little bit arm weary, I think.
Well, he's certainly thrown enough punches to have that happen to him.
Douglas needs to try to bend his legs a little bit and throw some uppercuts. I don't see him throw a lot of uppercuts. More leads and hooks. See, right there. The thing is, Khurtsidze is so short, and it's hard for Douglas to get down lower.
Douglas getting the better of this here with his back to the ropes.
He's out Khurtsidze-ing Khurtsidze.
He is, that's right. And now it's Douglas, and I think that got Khurtsidze's attention. Douglas with the right hand. I do think he hurt Khurtsidze there. Little Ray Leonard. And a combination again from Douglas.
I think Khurtsidze is slowing down finally a little bit in this round.
What an effort from both fighters.
Wow.
Fighters who are diametrically opposite in so many ways, mostly with age and experience. Douglas needs a little break, I think, huh? He's taking it anyway.
Yeah, he is. Two body shots from Khurtsidze. Uppercut from Douglas.
Break, no punching.
Be smart here for Douglas to waste away the rest of the round because he's done enough to win it. There's no point in fighting anymore.
It's true.
10 seconds.
Khurtsidze finishing with a rally. Here's the left hand. And another left hand. And Khurtsidze did make it closer.
And the numbers here, well, the jabs, forget about the jabs. This is not a jabbing contest. This has been a brawl, an inside brawl from round one. You see that Douglas can't possibly match the output of Khurtsidze, but he's won his share of rounds in this fight. Now, in round one, both guys winging much harder than they've been punching in the last couple of rounds. And Khurtsidze established the terms of the battle. Round two, absolute control. A close round, actually, was round three that was a disaster for Douglas. This happened very early in the round. And the rest of the round was about Antoine Douglas surviving, which he did. Fight easily could have ended in the third round. Fifth round, probably Douglas's best round. And he did most of his damage at close range. So we're only halfway through this fight. What possibly could the second half bring? We'll find out.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah. It's going to be a test of wills to be sure and a test of conditioning to be sure. Left hand from Khurtsidze drives Douglas back into the ropes. All right, they're both just loading up here. Douglas with a combination. Khurtsidze not taking a backward step. Douglas just peppering Khurtsidze.
And Douglas should be able to get much more on his shots because his left foot is in front of his right. Khurtsidze, as I mentioned before, totally squared up. You can't get maximum leverage that way.
Douglas is wondering if I just hit him with a 4 or 5 punch combination with hard shots. This guy's still coming at me. Douglas getting really good leverage on them shots.
Khurtsidze is leaning in, still throwing punches. You have it even, I have it even. How do you see it, Rollins?
I got a 48-46 for Khurtsidze. Close fight. But I think the second half of the fight, I think Douglas is taking over. Better conditioning, sharper shots, fast, sharp combinations by Douglas.
Who can carry his power in the second half of the fight? That's gonna, and who's gonna have more left?
I think that's absolutely the bottom line of this fight.
And this is Douglas fighting Khurtsidze's fight.
Look, there's a good left hand from Douglas.
I have no idea who's going to win this fight, and I love it.
It's great. Now, and in fact, if Douglas gets out of here with a win, this is going to be, will have been a great fight for him.
Yes.
Just because it's going to be a great learning experience for him. He's in there with a really tough guy.
I just saw Douglas connect with 2 body shots to Khurtsidze. He needs to throw more of that. That's the way he's going to slow down. He's got to just look at him. He's relentless.
Got to give it up for his corner, too. They did a great job on that cut. It has not been any kind of a problem almost since it happened. And it was a nasty cut.
And it didn't phase him. He didn't lose control either. No. He didn't lose focus. Most young fighters, you know, with a little bitty cut or any cut, they lose control. They don't fight the same. Start fighting the wrong fight, but he's been in control. I don't think he's been, you know, he was lost at one point when he got hurt. But I think he's back in the fight.
I think he's very much back in the fight.
Right now, he's slowed down a little bit. Khurtsidze continues to rage. But you're right, Douglas has been down, he's been cut.
Everything bad that could happen.
And he was overwhelmed.
And he's still making it out of here. Still making it out of here with a W.
But this has not been one of his better rounds, I don't think.
Tell you what, an action round, though.
Good round. Listen to me. Give me a mouthpiece. Deep breath, deep breath. Put it on his head, man. Put the blank, put that on his head. Put it on his head.
Right there, I get it.
Take it out. How you feel? Listen to me. You haven't did it yet, tell him. Tell him he's not listening to me. Listen to me. He drops his hand like this. You understand me? Avtandil. Throw the brava. You want to win this fight? Throw the brava. You're not throwing the brava.
Throw the brava. I tell that to Barry every time we have Chinese food.
Absolutely.
Early in round 6, Douglas got the better of it, as Raul pointed out, fighting Khurtsidze's fight. It was a really good start to the round. The second and third minutes of the round, however, less furious and more Khurtsidze.
Yeah, I gave the round to Khurtsidze, actually. So this is round 7 of this 10-round fight, and you have the idea the fight still hangs in the balance. There's a left hand, and that drops Douglas.
That was the brava.
6, 7, 8. Better show me something, son.
And that came out of nowhere. One punch, knock it down. Another right hand. And again, Douglas holding on and in some trouble.
Not holding though, Barry, not holding.
Exactly. He is ready to go again. Happened early in a round before. There's a good left hand from Khurtsidze.
How long can Khurtsidze punch like this?
That's the question.
Non-stop. Count him.
Where did he get this energy from?
Douglas is still there, though.
He's 35 years old, Raul.
He's just going for it here. It's just that simple. Just going for it.
Well, if his attempt was to get Benji Estevez to intervene, it didn't work yet anyway.
No.
Deep breath, guys.
And I'm telling you, Douglas's legs are gone. And his legs are gone. It will take very little.
Khurtsidze pointed it out to Benji Estevez.
Yes, he did. But it won't take much. It shouldn't take much to drop him. And if he drops him, you would have to think Benji Estevez would step in and stop it.
Oh, he's looking for that big overhand right again. I mean, left hand.
He's just walking to him with his hands down, and Douglas caught him with the right hand.
Douglas comes back from this, the crowd's going to go nuts.
Yeah.
We're going to go nuts, too.
There's a right hand, a big right hand from Douglas.
But he's open. He's open if Khurtsidze has the energy to punch. Look at where Douglas's hands are.
But now Khurtsidze is not throwing punches. There's a wild left hand.
Watch that overhand.
And Douglas drops a right hand on him, and another one. Douglas fighting off the ropes. What a fight.
Douglas looks like a light breeze would send him over at this point.
It does.
I'll tell you what, to me, it looks like he's knocked out on his feet.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to recuperate. It's like, look at him.
And there was a big right hand, and Douglas started to fall, fell right into Khurtsidze. Now he backs up against the ropes, takes a left hand.
It's a critical moment. Critical moment, Barry, because Khurtsidze's going for it again. Second win.
And Douglas still has no legs. No legs. Final 10 seconds of the round. Bell cannot save the fighter. Wow.
Oh, my.
Hey, today, the bottle for what? You all right? I need you to keep your hands up. Touch yourself. You need to touch yourself.
No water on his face. Put water on his body, not his face.
That cut's still looking the same?
For the second time in this fight, Antoine Douglas has gone down via left hook. And for the second time, it happened very early. This time it happened about 15 seconds into round number 7. Amazingly, with legs that Barry described very well, failing legs, he somehow made it through. And Antoine Douglas's courage in this fight has been off the charts.
He's still got rubbery legs. As we come to round 8.
Over 100 punches again from Khurtsidze that round.
Khurtsidze continues to just pursue Douglas. Douglas still on rubbery wheels.
Yes, very.
Question is, what does Khurtsidze have left?
Last round, Khurtsidze landing 42%, 45 to 15. Pretty much tells the story of the round. Douglas has found a home for that right hand, but there's not that much on it.
That's what I was going to say. Both fighters just kind of ignoring defense and just trying to knock the other guy out. It's just that simple. There was a left hand again from Khurtsidze. Combination from Douglas. It's interesting that Khurtsidze is doing most of his damage, not so much when he's right on top of Douglas.
You're right, the left hook, he's needed a little bit of room for that punch. And you see when Douglas is on the ropes, he kind of slithers along the ropes in an effort to get away. And it's worked a couple of times in a row now in this round. But he's still getting backed up consistently. Hard to win the round that way.
Khurtsidze just walking him down. It's not giving me room to breathe. Already round 8. It's unbelievable, this guy's pace. Especially after the last round, all the activity, all the punches he threw.
And I want to give credit to Benji Estevez for letting these guys fight. He's certainly done that.
Yes, he has. Done a very good job. Khurtsidze still just walking to Douglas. Not much steam on the punches from Khurtsidze right now.
Khurtsidze starting to go to the body a little more. That's something he hasn't done a lot of, probably because he's had so much success punching upstairs.
Look at Douglas.
Yeah, he's still.
I tell you what, this is the first round that I see him kind of holding on and not being as effective with his shots. He's kind of pawing, kind of going into survival mode.
Don't think it's as much fatigue as it is that he's hurt.
Both.
And you see that lower man wins when they're on the inside. And I don't think I have to tell you which guy's the lower man.
Khurtsidze continuing to back Douglas up, and it just doesn't look like it would take a lot.
Minutes. 6 minutes, Avtandil. You hear me? You get me? Don't give it back to him. You hear me? You understand me? Let's go. Avtandil, tell him everything we worked in the gym, put it into the 6 minutes. You hear me? You understand me? Hands. Hold it.
You can do it, Antoine. Come on, Antoine. Come on, Antoine.
Deep down, hard body shots when he throws and when you defend.
Make them body shots to slow him down, Antoine.
We come to round 9, and I tell you, just looking at Antoine Douglas's corner, looks like a beaten fighter.
Well, in the second half of the fight, the pressure fighter has won on my card every round.
On mine also.
And that's not that unusual when a pressure fighter starts
yeah, I agree.
Getting his momentum.
It seemed like for a while, Douglas started to come back in the second half of the fight, maybe the 6th round, but then he slowed down.
Now right above us, Khurtsidze again, right on top of Douglas, comes with an overhand left hand. Both are very tired.
Khurtsidze's been 10 rounds or more 6 times, only once for Douglas.
Sharp left hand again by Khurtsidze. Khurtsidze trying to work the body.
At this point, the difference is Khurtsidze is outworking Douglas. He doesn't have to hurt Douglas to win rounds or to win the fight. Douglas is probably going to have to hurt Khurtsidze to win the fight.
Khurtsidze throwing more punches in this round. They're not big punches anymore.
But he's active, he's busier, he's pushing him back.
Controlling the fight.
He's holding on now. He's been doing that for the past 2 rounds, Steve.
He is very tired fighting. Good left hand there by Khurtsidze. Drives Douglas into the corner. Does he have enough? Another left hand by Khurtsidze. Douglas is just staying up on guts.
Every time you look up, Khurtsidze's punching.
Yeah.
Somewhere, Barry, Muggsy Bogues is smiling.
Absolutely. The little man, the champion of the little man. Khurtsidze just keeps coming. Douglas is going to see Khurtsidze in his dreams.
Now he's talking to him.
Yeah, he is. That's about 6 punches, and Douglas almost went there.
I think they need to stop this fight.
His knees buckled. Reggie Estevez taking a very close look here.
The executive director of the commission, Greg Serb, is walking over toward this side of the ring, talking to ring doctor.
Douglas is really not offering anything here. And Khurtsidze is still finding something.
Hey. Last round, going. Last round. Hey.
Get this kid. Last round. 10 rounds. Avtandil 3 minutes. He tired. He finished. You hear me? Give me this fight.
Good?
There we are.
All right. Come on, Antoine.
5 at a time. 5 at a time. Move, move, move. You hear me? Mike Tyson, baby. Mike Tyson.
Hey,
Let's go.
Mike Tyson.
Let's go, baby.
Hey,
let's go. Mike Tyson.
Let's bring him under. Okay? Stay off the rope. You gotta keep your hands up.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike Tyson would be proud of this guy right here.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure that I saw this, but I think Khurtsidze actually kissed his trainer, Gary Stark.
I believe he did.
While Stark was lecturing him. It was amazing to watch. This whole fight's been amazing to watch.
Well, it's been a clinic.
Oh.
Again,
Another
right
big
on
one.
top. Yeah. And this time, I don't know if Douglas could survive this.
He can't hold.
That's it. It's over. That's it. I'll tell you what. There's a guy who came prepared to win and won. And I thought it was well stopped by Benji Estevez.
That's how you fucking fight, baby. You the man, baby.
Well, he came here with an idea of how he's going to win this fight. He told us how he was going to win this fight, and he won this fight.
Yeah, he did it by fighting his fight. That's the way he fights. A lot of pressure, a lot of will, a lot of heart, a lot of conditioning. His conditioning for Khurtsidze is incredible. Doesn't have the Mike Tyson power, like pound for pound, but he's got enough power to hurt. Put a lot of hurt on Antoine Douglas.
And he's relentless, just relentless.
Non-stop.
This is, everybody, virtually everybody, loses a fight. Now, this is the fight for Antoine Douglas. You hope that he goes to school on this, learns something. We're going to see him again. Here are the numbers in this fight, and just an overwhelming performance. Look at that, 841 punches thrown.
Incredible. I mean, in the second half of the fight, I think the last maybe 3 or 4 rounds, it looks like to me that Antoine Douglas was out on his feet. He tried every now and then, but just, he couldn't deal with the pressure of Khurtsidze.
It started right from the beginning. Khurtsidze, I thought, won the early rounds, won the first round anyway. There he just came up with a great uppercut, and then it was round 2 that things started to turn just a little bit for Douglas. Douglas was still fighting Khurtsidze's fight, but he came off the ropes with some action of his own, and then in round 3 it all turned. Khurtsidze almost had his man out, and Douglas had a long way to go to survive that 3rd round, but somehow he managed to do it.
Yeah, he did, and it seemed like he found a little bit of range. He was being explosive. This is the round where he's a little bit confident here. Fast combinations was connected, but it wasn't enough, because in the second half of the fight, well, there we see a little bit more of that, but in the second half of the fight, you see the confidence of Khurtsidze just winging away, sticking his tongue out, very confident on Antoine Douglas. He drops him there. He was really hurt, and I think that from that point on, I think he was out on his feet for the rest of the fight, Barry.
I agree with you. I don't think he offered anything after that fight. I think all of us here at the table gave the last 4 rounds of the fight to Khurtsidze, and he just went out and did what he told us he was going to do. I mean, there was no secret about what he was going to do. Douglas knew what he was going to do, and he simply went out and did it. Douglas just didn't have an answer for it, and as we said, it's going to be a learning process for Antoine Douglas. He was possibly a fight away from a title shot. Now he's going to have to make a U-turn and come back around again. Let's take you up the center of the ring. We will make it all official with Mark Fratto.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Benji Estevez calls for a stop to the bout. The official time, 33 seconds in round number 10. Your winner by TKO and the new WBO International Middleweight Champion of the world, Avtandil, the Tornado, Khurtsidze.
Antoine Douglas, you're very gracious to talk to us. Most important thing, how do you feel right now? Are you okay?
I feel good, yeah. I'm good.
Obviously, you've never been through a fight like that. It seemed like he dictated the terms from round 1, and you kind of fought his fight. Was that because of what he did, or did you choose to do that?
I can't really say exactly, but he definitely dictated. He definitely, took that advantage. So, I give it to him. He had a better day today.
How discouraging is it to fight a guy like that who just never stops coming?
It's not discouraging at all. We work on it, just wasn't able to execute like I planned to.
How do you feel right now emotionally? You've never lost before.
Naturally, I'm crushed, man, but, just back to the drawing board.
Well, you're 23 years old. You showed incredible, incredible heart tonight. Good luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
Barry?
All right, thanks, Steve. A very gracious Antoine Douglas, and we will see him. I mean, everybody loses a fight. He's going to learn from this process. And this is a pretty bad beat put on him by Avtandil Khurtsidze. And Khurtsidze just simply, as we said, went out and executed a game plan. He was the stronger, he was the quicker, he was the more prepared, you have to say, fighter. And right now, my partner, Steve Farhood, is with the winner of this fight in impressive fashion. Steve?
All right, thank you, Barry. George will translate. Can you ask Avtandil, did he feel he was in control from the very beginning of the fight, because the fight was fought on his terms?
I want to thank Showtime for giving me this opportunity, and I'm thankful that I showed the world what I can do. And yes, for my first round, when I started controlling the round, it was like this till the end.
Please ask him, how does a 35-year-old fighter fight at the pace that he fought at and throw as many punches as he threw?
მე ყოველდღე დარბაზში ვარ, უთხარი, ყოველდღე ვარჯიშობ და ჩემ პრომოუტერთან სვიაზე ვარ, ყოველდღიურად და მე ველოდებოდი კარგ ბრძოლას და მე სულ დარბაზში ვარ, სულ ვარჯიშობ და რაც შეიძლება მეტად დამტვირთონ და დიდი ბრძოლები მომცენ, მე მზათა ვარ ვიჩხუბ.
I'm in the gym every day. I'm working very hard with my trainer Gary, and I'm ready for the next biggest fight that you guys will put front of me.
Has he ever fought anybody that offered as much resistance as Antoine Douglas did?
ესეთ უჩხობია და სხვა როგორც აკვალეტონი იყო დღეს.
ყველგან მითხარ არ მე.
ესეთ ადამიანთა თუ უჩხობია როგორც დღეს იყო ანტონი.
კი რა თქმა უნდა, თქო მე სპარინგერ პარტნიორები მეტად ძლიერი მიყავდა ვიდრე დუგლასია.
Yes, I have fought a lot of people like this. Even my sparring partners are tougher than he is. But he's a good kid. I give him a lot of props. And he brought his 100% today, but I was a better man.
Well, at 35, Khurtsidze's career is certainly reborn. And Gary Stark, I think he laid a kiss on your face before the start of the 10th round. No lipstick, but a little blood, maybe. Congratulations, guys. Let's go back to Barry.
All right, Steve, thanks very much, and congratulations to Avtandil, Khurtsidze, and certainly we will see this guy again. I mean, he was an impressive winner over an impressive prospect tonight.
And I guess we could call it an upset because he wasn't supposed to win this fight, and I like to see him again. I mean, he's an action fighter. He comes to fight, and that's what people pay to see. They want to see them kind of fights, Barry.
Yeah, remember, it wasn't supposed to be him. It was supposed to be Sam Solomon. And we said right at the get-go that this guy could be a tougher test for Antoine Douglas than Sam Solomon was. And guess what? For once, we were right. Our main event is coming up next. It is a junior middleweight bout for a #1 ranking. American Julian Williams challenging Italy's Marcello Matano.